I mean, well, we kind of alluded to him, but you can't talk about the Shy without this icon that has become. I don't care what nobody say about this man.
Yeah,
he is a music genius and a fashionista, a fashion icon. B.Cox is so much with this guy. He was a childhood prodigy, and we saw what he's evolved into and things he's done.
Yeah,
but man, how can you even embark on describing the genius that Kanye West is?
I mean, we talked earlier about DMX about it being a story in perseverance. This is a story in perseverance too, man. For the longest while, he fought to be accepted and respected by people within circles that wouldn't give him the time of day. And how he did it was by working mercilessly on his craft as a producer, which got him in the room with the right people. And all it takes is for you to get into the room with the right people. And as long as you get in there and continue to produce and stay in there, ain't no telling what can happen to you afterwards. So for me, it all kind of starts mad with La Familia and This Can't Be Life. To take that track and that sample, I mean, and to make it a song about what they were, what the sample is about, then versus what the song is actually made of with Scarface, Jay, and Beanie is incredible. And then the fact that he took that and was able to use the drums from Dre's Explosive, not just on that, but then also on Guess Who's Back, and then make people not wiser of the wear for either one of them that he did the same exact thing on both of those tracks.
Did not know.
Things like that. It's the music that you hear on Blueprint. It's what you hear on the Fix with Scarface, and then eventually when he dropped by himself. Biggest and most underrated thing that people did, and the worst thing that people could have done about Kanye, was to discount his credit as in cachet as an artist. I did the review of College Dropout earlier this year, 20th anniversary, with my boy Van Everett from Scenario Radio Show. Shout out to Van and his crew from Scenario Radio. They do an awesome job. We described and talked about how the biggest thing that anybody could have done was to discount his cachet as an artist, because a lot of people, let's be honest, a lot of those folks probably looked at him and wrote him off as a, backpacker, conscious rapper, guys who hung around me. Because look, before he got big, look who he was hanging out with: the Qualies, the Most Defs, the Slum Villages, the Dillas, the Loves, the Roots. That's who his audience was. That's who his crew of folks was. We created with. When he got into the game and I said, I'm gonna try to make a go of this as a rapper, whether he wrote those rhymes, all the rhymes or not, which we know he didn't write all the rhymes, but just the fact that he was able to make an album, and for your debut album to be done so well that, as I was saying in the van, I said some of that parts of the College Dropout sounded almost cinematic, right? Like almost symphony-like movements of symphonies, right? We're talking about stuff that composers did in the 17th and 18th centuries, right? Like that type of stuff, of the things that he composed with those beats. But his popularity was kind of that people saw him and saw that he was kind of a dude just like the rest of us, even though he was a little bit strange, right? He was a little weird to some people, but that's fine, because I think most people are willing to accept you if they feel like you're genuine and that's who you are.
That's true.
And that continued, because he went on to, as I call it, the Dropout trilogy, which is College Dropout, Late Registration, and Graduation. Created 3 in a row and went 3 for 3 on albums that still is not many trilogies that can match that, like of that era after 2000. There's not many. And the fact that he was able to go head to head with an artist like 50 Cent,
yeah, man,
on his album and win, considering the fact that many people would say, oh, it's 50 and it's Kanye, it's 50 and it's Kanye. But that's part of the thing I think what endeared us to Kanye, is that he was kind of always an underdog, and he had to work his ass off in order to be recognized in a room full of people that, in lots of cases, let's be honest, really wouldn't give a damn about him.
Come on now, say it.
And what happened is that there are a lot of events around that time Unfortunately, what you see is that as the bigger his star grew, the bigger his head also got, and then also the unfortunate incidents of him losing his mother and other events in his life led to this trajectory, which got him on the point to where he is right now.
Yeah.
But I mean, you look at what he did. I mean, talk about it as much as you want, man. I think we're gonna sit and look at 808 and Heartbreaks after a while and be like, damn, dog, like what the fuck? Kanye was a part of something that I don't even think he even knew what the fuck he was doing at that time. Right?
He couldn't.
And using the auto tune wasn't exclusively done. T-Pain and other artists have been doing it. A lot of artists have been doing it for years. And then Cher made it popular on Believe. T-Pain made it popular through his music career. And then Kanye messed around and made an entire album based off of that. And it helped to start a movement within hip hop and within music with 808s and Heartbreaks. My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. And then that drops the brilliance of that. But then after that, things get a little weird.
Yeah.
You know, and then you talked about his fashion sense. I mean, look at it, bro. I mean, his fashion sense definitely evolved over the years, man. As he got into bigger rooms, what he wanted to do in fashion, he was starting to get access to that. And even some people were still shutting him out, right? The big brand still didn't want to be, you know, associated with him. So created his own. Now, where I think he kind of went a little left field is, you know, I still don't get what's up with the Yeezys. A lot of people still got them. They bomb. If you're a shoe head, I guess if you need to have them, you got to have them. And to that, I'd say, okay. I mean, if you like it, I love it, you know, but I never really got the big deal about them joints when he came out with the Yeezy clothing line. And a lot of it looked like, I don't know, rags and stuff that homeless people wore. And then people were like, this is great fashion stuff. My man, Dion, shout out to Dion. When he saw the Yeezy clothing line stuff, he called it a very intricate name. You want to know what he called it, Matt?
What he called it?
Called it Pipehead Couture.
Pipehead Couture. Well, goddamn, that's a hell of a name.
Hey, but listen, I'm not gonna lie though. The brother worked hard in that fashion industry.
Yeah, he did.
To get himself in certain rooms, man. And part of that was sort of the strategic plans that he had in regards to who he was in relationships with. Started with, we knew him, started with Alexis, right? Him and Alexis broke up, got with Amber. Him and Amber were in a relationship. And then eventually he gets with and meets Kim and gets in a relationship with Kim and they get married. Now, I'm not going to doubt whether they loved each other actually or not, but I do know that that definitely at some level was a marriage of convenience, because that is really when you talk about when he went from, let's say 100 to 150, $200 million worth to like being up to the point where he was a billionaire.
Come on now.
Marrying her was a part of him elevating his brand. Now, unfortunately, I feel as though when he married her, the other part of his creativity kind of suffered a little bit as well. Correct. Now, there's some people that swear by Yeezus and a lot of people that swear by the life of Pablo and other albums. But to me, it wasn't the Kanye that I fell in love with. The one that made me want to go and put that dropout in or late registration. No, that dropout in when I'm in the car driving on my aunt's house on the way to Jersey, or late registration when I'm sitting cooling around the house getting some work done, or graduation when I want to sit and be in some deep thought. It wasn't the same. So as a music icon, yeah, man, he's made his chops. As a producer, what he did was help to put himself in the rare conversation. And when we're talking about some top 10, top 20 hip hop producers all time, yeah, he's in that conversation. When you talk about an underdog in regards to him being regarded as a viable artist that had widespread appeal and then also could succeed on the charts and with sales, yeah, that was him. All that. That's what his legacy is. Unfortunately, a part of his legacy also is the outburst, the recent stuff with all the stuff with politics, the stuff that has happened with his, divorce with Kim and the stuff with the kids.
Yeah.
The other things that you see now with his new wife and him walking around with stuff, basically covered in head to toe with no open. I mean, her being naked to halfway naked to almost naked to a point where it's like a circus now. Yeah. It's come to a point where now Kanye stopped being about I want to be taken seriously because I am just like you all and as talented as you all, and acknowledge me to being a sideshow. And that's what the sad part about it is now. It's an attention grab, unlike the, hey, I got really good beats. Hey, I can make a hit album. I can make classic albums to, I'm doing this shit just because I can. And nobody's going to tell me otherwise. And I'm doing it because everybody's going to be talking about it. And that's nothing but good things for me, my brand, and my bottom line. Our brother took a hit when he said what he said about you know who.
Yeah.
But for the most part, yeah. Musically, though, as far as when it comes to that run with Kanye, man, with the Dropout trilogy and to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, to me, about as good as any during that time. And it's something from somebody, like we said, that we didn't expect it from, because everybody was counting him out as an artist. Nobody wanted him as an artist, man. And Rockefeller took the chance on him. Dame took the chance on him and convinced Jay to bring him on.
Your dad his props. He did that. Yeah. You're right.
A lot of y'all was talking about some when I was talking about Jay. Oh, Jay didn't make that brand of business. Dame did. Yeah, Dame did. Jay was the pitch man, though.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Wasn't nobody buying Nikes with Bo. Bo wasn't making the shoes, but wasn't nobody buying the shoes without Bo talking about them. So I know that Dame was a driving force behind the business. For those of y'all who were in the comments talking about some, that was Dame. I get it, that was Dame. But
yeah,
Jay was on the records talking about Armandale and Rockaware. And that's what was getting people to buy it. You know, Dame was making sure the business was getting taken care of, and Jay was selling it. And that's part of being a businessman, is selling shit. That's
it, bro. So. Wasn't nobody throwing up the goddamn rock because of Dame Dash. Wasn't nobody goddamn it when it's Doc Carter's because of Dame Dash. Now we're not taking Dame's business acumen from him, but you're not going to discredit Jay-Z's influence he had in that run and what he did. And if you guys don't know what we're talking about, B.Cox delineated hit fairly for both of those gentlemen. Jay-Z and Dash, and B.Cox was one of the few people who actually said, hey, why Dame is built. We're not going to spend time talking about that, because guess what? You can go back and watch that. We've already put that work in.
Watch it. There you go. You can go watch. But give Dame his props for helping to get Kanye to that level, because had it not been for him, how soon would we have found out from Kanye afterwards? Would we? I don't know. You know, Kanye would have always been Kanye, but having that spotlight with a brand like Rockefeller, it helps. It helps.
B.Cox, we're about to leave the shop, man, but we can't leave the Midwest yet. We got to go a little further south, man, because they'll have my ass